Okay, we're gonna be, I put the camera really close behind you because we're gonna, everybody's working and we're doing a very quiet small group. Okay. Okay. All right, this is Jay. This is our third time looking at the sugar maple and woodpecker. We read the whole thing. We talked about comprehension. Comprehension is when you what?
Discuss with someone about a story.
Okay, that does happen afterwards. We do discuss, but what is comprehension? Like, I comprehend this.
Like you really understand something.
Did you hear what she said? Really understand something. You were gonna say that? You got that? So, we talked about some ways to really, really understand. Number one, we read with excitement, okay? Whether we're reading it in our head or we're reading it as a class or like one by one, right? Like, you know, when I call on different kids to read, you're reading it with excitement. The more you like it, the more you get into it, the more you know about it, the more you remember it. The other thing you do is pause. Certain times you might have to reread or stop and be like, ooh, that part. You know what I'm saying? Then the best thing you could do after you read something is you talk about it. Like she said, open discussion, conversation. The word we used last time was dialogue. You remember what dialogue meant? Remember? Conversation, dialogue, right? So what do you do about that? It kind of stimulates more in your mind as well. But for sure, doing that and then kind of like answering questions, really focused questions afterwards, it does help, okay? Because even if you don't know the answer and your friend does, you hear your friend's answer, you're like, yes, right? Or you'll be like, oh, I was thinking that too, which a lot of you guys say. All right, this time we're focused on paragraph 9 and 11, which I think yours is numbered off, but basically it's this one and this one. Actually, let me help you. All right, so we're gonna do, over here, my friend, this paragraph is the one we're gonna focus on, paragraph 9, and then paragraph 11, you have it, okay? And then let me get it for you. All right, so we're gonna read it and we're gonna make a connection as to why are these two texts out of everything, why are they so important? Are you ready for that? Okay, who wants to read the first one? Okay, and we're gonna follow along. Our goal today, just so you know, is that we're gonna focus on these two texts, talk about some connections, and then after that, we're gonna have some questions. You feel good about it?
Yes.
All right, go ahead, nice and loud.
Woodpecker thought about sugar maple's problem and then called his cousins, and together
Follow along.
they went from branch to branch, picking up every beetle and grub. When they are done, Sugar Maple felt much better and said, "Thank you for your help, Woodpecker."
Thank you for your help, Woodpecker. Really awesome. Okay, so we have that one. Do you remember now reading that?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to go ahead and read the next part, 11?
Sugar Maple remembered what Woodpecker had done for it.
All right, why? Without me even talking about it, why these two, do you think? What is the first one? What's happening in the first one? Let's start with that. The first one. Yes, yes.
That, like, that he called, that Woodpecker called his cousins.
Woodpecker called his cousins.
And then they were picking up every beetle and grub. And in this one, Sugar Maple had a problem.
No problem.
So Sugar Maple remembered what Woodpecker done for it.
Okay, so do you guys agree? Is there anything you want to add on? What happened here? Woodpecker did what? It said he thought about Sugar Maple's. Go ahead.
He, when he thought about Sugar Maple's problem, he called his cousins so they could all help him and solving the problem quicker.
Solving the problem quicker. Okay, so let's see if we could try to put this in a sentence. Woodpecker did what? He, give me some. Not yet. Okay, Woodpecker agreed to help him, right? So let's start with that. To help. And he did another step. Did he help himself? Did he do it all by himself? What did he do?
He called his cousins so they could also help.
You said something before, so he could solve the problem quicker. Do you guys agree with that? Yeah. And I'm gonna put quicker right here. So this is someone that not only was one of the first ones to say yes to helping, but he's like, wait, let me brainstorm. I think we could do this a better way. All right, guys, come on. Let's all go help, right? All right, so what happened in paragraph 11? What's the connection? I know you had said something, but I want to hear it from you two. What did you see from paragraph 11? I mean, really, it's not a paragraph, it's a sentence. But from sentence numbered 11, Sugar Maple remembered what Woodpecker had done for it. Why do I want to bring attention to that? And why is that an important detail? I think it's an important detail. What does it show us about Sugar Maple? What kind of person is he? What does it show us?
Helpful and kind person.
So this sentence shows helpful and kind?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
That he, that he's trying to think about it, and then he thought that he's a good friend, so he did it.
Okay, so him stopping to think, wait a minute. Because some people, all right, let's just be honest. Hey, attention up here. Can you pass me that? You pass it to me. Then later on in the day, you say, hey, can you let me borrow your pencil? And I go, the fact that I will stop and think, yeah, I'll let you borrow it. Well, earlier you helped pass me that thing, remember? So like something about him pausing to think about how Woodpecker helped him does show his character as good person. Give me a word.
Kind person.
Kind person. Give me another word. Helpful. So let's do it. Sugar Maple showed that he was thoughtful. I'm gonna write it. I like it. I like the other ones too. You guys said thoughtful, kind, let's give it a comma, and helpful person.
And a good person.
And a good person. Just by that sentence, that gave us a relevant detail, meaning a detail that we need to remember because that changed the story. If Sugar Maple would have said, no, if he would have said what Deer said, there's nothing I can do, how would that have changed the story? The whole moral of the story, the whole theme would be different because the story would now be, hey kids, you know, some people might not do something nice for you if you do something nice for them. It would have been a whole different theme. So that brings me to my question. What is the theme? Yeah?
I have 3 themes.
Okay, girl.
That he paid it forward.
Paid it forward.
Spreading kindness and giving back.
Spreading kindness and giving back. Okay, I like all 3. Yes.
And that that friendship is better than saying no.
Friendship is better than saying no. So you're saying if he would have said no, they would have never been friends. Because it would have been like, this guy. Like, like who does he think he is? Okay, so I like that theme. What did you think about, what do you think is the theme? She said 3. You only got to say 1, but you know.
He was like a generous kid, so people, the animals were supposed to say like.
The animals were supposed to say yes. So he was a generous king.
Yeah.
So really quick, I like that what you're saying. You're telling me something important that you took from the text. But the theme is what? Do you guys remember what is the definition of theme?
What the story mostly is about, or
Underlying
mostly
message?
talking.
You were so close. You were there. You helped her get it. It's the underlying message. Like it's the message that's there, it's lingering, and it's something you feel after you read and you're like, it's kind of like a message, you know? But it's not really something that you're gonna find in the text. You're not gonna find the theme written. You have to read and then later go, wow, I think the theme is like paying it forward. I think the theme is friendship. Something you have to pick up after reading it. Do you understand? After you make all your inferences that you did on your first time reading it, on your second time reading it, now you're making your final connections. And this all helps with comprehension. You understand that, right? That is going to help you understand this story and understand the motives of Sugar Maple, helpful friend, the motives of Woodpecker, helpful friend. And you're going to now understand, why do they have a friendship? Do you even have to question why they have a friendship? No, because you saw it, you comprehend it, right? All right, in drawing conclusions, what would be 2 relevant details that you would include in the summary? Like if you had to go home today and a family member came over that you haven't seen in forever, what would be the 2 important details that you would use to describe this story? You could only say 2. Because that's what the summary is when you tell someone else about the story, right? So if you're telling someone else about the story, I'm going to give you a sentence frame for it. Sugar Maple and Woodpecker is about... Okay, go ahead. Friendship, okay, but give me 2 details from the text. Okay, 2 details. Okay, 1 second, go ahead.
Sugar Maple asked squirrel, rabbit, porcupine, and fox for help, but they said that there's nothing that they can do. And they asked Woodpecker, and then Woodpecker had a problem, and then Sugar Maple remembered what Woodpecker had done for him.
Okay, I like it. You jumped from this page to this page. You basically said, I like this part that shows that a lot of people weren't able to help him, but I like this part that says Sugar Maple ended up helping out the person who helped him. That's it. That's 2 relevant details. Did you see that? What would you use? No, girl. No. Come on. Try to answer in your own way. If you go home, like a cousin. Picture a cousin or something. Or an aunt or uncle. And what is that story about? Sit, please, thank you. I forgot to use these. So the first one is what happened to him. It could be right. It's okay if I'm putting you on the spot. Can you think? Woo. Who's out here yawning? Not me. Not I. Not in small group. I know you yawned earlier, and I was like, "Don't do it. Don't do it." Okay. Anyways, sorry, we're being too loud. Don't feel like you're on the spot. Let's bring it back. Look at me. Okay. So, I would say we're gonna go ahead and take, and one relevant detail is it's really important to state how many people said no to him, and how many people was that? Not people, but animals. How many friends said no to him? Remember we had that number before?
6.
6 people said no to him. I think that detail is important because you have to know that he was rejected first. And the second detail you have to know is that what?
That Woodpecker helped him since nobody else would want to help him to get the beetles and grubs off of him.
Yes. That needs to be said. God bless America. That needs to be said in the summary as well, that he was helped. That's part of the whole story. He was helped in such a way that he was able to help that person back, who was the only one who helped him. I like this. Let's do our last one. And we're going to end with, I learned that, and each of you guys are going to tell me something you learned in our comprehension small group. This has been really good. I feel like we dived in so deep that you might know the story forever. What do you think? You think you remember in 5th grade?
Yeah.
All right, last one. Can you interpret what the author's purpose was? This guy here that wrote this. What do you think his purpose was for the reader who's reading it? Yeah, what do you think? Friendship. He wanted a story to kind of embody friendship. I love that. What do you think? Okay, so maybe a lesson that kindness pays
like a
forward.
lesson,
Okay, go ahead.
Maybe like help and kindness.
Help and kindness, like send a message. Do you think this was made to inform or entertain?
To
Inform. To inform because, like, maybe he's trying to tell you that you should
be kind, yeah.
So even if he is trying to send an underlining message, the answer, oh my god. The answer would actually be he wanted to entertain us, but leave us with a theme, like a nice theme. And I do agree with the theme that was chosen. It is about helping another person. Why are we all yawning? Okay. All right, these are our final conclusions about this. Now, we've kind of been able to say what's the theme, what's the author's purpose, and what would we use in a summary. Do you think you're going to see those type of questions in a test for this? Probably, right? Those are the type of questions that they ask. And the way that you answer them, if you answer them correctly, it's because you really what?
Understand it and comprehend.
Understand and comprehend it. All right, you're each going to hold the I learned that, and you can say whatever you want.
I learned that kindness is good for, well, actually,
And it could be what you learned in small group, what you learned from me, what you learned in the story. It could be anything. Just so we can end on a positive note. Don't yawn. Go ahead.
I learned that they both help each other with spreading kindness.
Okay, can you pass it?
friendship leads to a good friendship.
Friendship leads to a good friendship? Okay, let's reword it a little bit.
Wait.
What would lead to a good friendship? Give me another word.
Like being kind and good person to them.
Yes, go ahead. Did you learn anything?
I learned that kindness matters and that
You need to sit. You can't go again. Sit.
being kind to others could kind of affect you a little.
Okay, being kind to others can affect you. I like it. Keep
Yeah.
going.
And
You're
that
listening? Okay. Can I do it? I learned that you guys are really good readers, really strong readers. I learned that you guys really like woodpecker and sugar maple friendship. And I learned that there is a lot that we could learn when we sort of like look at something over and over again for a few days.
like learn often.
Yeah. So, we did constructive conversations, deeper inferences, and final connections. These are just little ways that I called it. After doing all of this, if I were to say, hey, in a little bit, we're about to do a little quiz on it, would you feel ready?
Yeah.
Would you feel ready for sure? Like if I asked you, if the questions were all about the characters and the theme and this text structure, which, by the way, what was the text structure? Was it time order? No. Was it? Yes.
Cause and effect.
Very close. Very close. But yes, there was a cause and an effect. But what?
Problem and solution.
Problem and solution. You guys are awesome. All right. Well, we're donezo here. Emily, can you please stop it for me? Thank you so much. We are ready to take
Pause or
our
stop?
test. Stop it.
The bottom,
Thank you.
the bottom.